There are a lot of different voices out there telling young men that all the world's problems are your fault, that your masculinity and the instincts that God gave you are somehow wrong or toxic. I want you to understand something. They are telling you that not because you have no power. They're telling you that because they understand how powerful you could be as a young man on fire for God and determined to save his country and his family.
This is going to be about keeping the crime scene secret, okay? And the reason why the police, FBI, any investigative agency does this is not necessarily mean that they're lying. And I mean, they could be lying, and it's important to question the narrative at all times, okay? This video is not saying, oh, they for sure didn't lie because of this. This is just showing you what could be happening as well, because this is a standard in any crime case. They're going to try to keep this as secret as possible, okay? And the reason why is they want to try to find the suspect, number one, okay, prove the case, try to find out who did it. And the second reason why is they want to keep the court case viable, okay? If everybody in the whole entire world knows every single detail of the case, and then they get a jury pool that already knows all that stuff, and the guy that's the suspect is pretty much obviously guilty, his attorneys can argue that he doesn't have any, there's no way for him to get a fair trial because everybody's already judged him guilty, and then he gets off scot-free. That's the worst case scenario, right? Okay. The other scenario is secrets in the case can help you catch a perpetrator. If we take a look at the mock crime scene that we did, what did we see on the guy's shirt? On the guy's shirt, we saw that there was 3 stab marks. Okay. We also saw there was a hole in the shirt. So we know that he was shot, and we're going to go over 2 scenarios. Okay, there's also a blue knife right here, and there's also a hammer right here. Okay, so we know that there's a few things that were used, and we know there was a blaster right here, okay? Now we're going to go over 2 different scenarios. So scenario number 1. Can you tell me why there was a green hammer at the crime scene? Don't you mean the red hammer? I'm not really, I don't know. You mean that guy that got stabbed 3 times in the back? I had nothing to do with that. All right, guys, so in this scenario, you can see that this suspect knew that the guy had got stabbed 3 times in the back. The only way he would have known that is if he was the one that did the crime, correct? Also, he knew the hammer was not green. He knew that it was like a reddish color. So how would he have known that? Okay, if people leaked information, maybe somebody did leak that he had gotten shot. Maybe that was common knowledge, okay? But he knew exactly that the guy had gotten stabbed, and the police kept that completely under wraps. The FBI kept that under wraps. He admits to knowing that. That's your number 1 suspect. Here's scenario number 2. Oh my gosh! I'm the fancy YouTuber family guy. I see this 3 stab marks. I see the red hammer. I see the blaster. I see the whole crime scene. Oh my gosh. Mr. FBI, you cannot lie to me, FBI. I'm going to prove you wrong on the internet. I'm going to be famous. All right, Joey. Come clean about this. Like, what did you see at the crime scene? What about the green hammer? Oh, the green hammer? No, okay. First of all, it was a red hammer, and there's also a blaster over there. He got sliced like 3 times in the back, and like, it's awesome. Like, I think I figured out the whole entire thing. I think that the guy came in the house, he wanted to sell all his Pokemon cards, and, you know, there was some like sodas on the table. Obviously, he really wanted those sodas for himself, and got him. We got him. How did he know about the 3 slash marks and the hammer and the blaster? Oh, everybody knows. Like that fancy filmer YouTube guy showed everybody everything what happened, and now everybody and their dog knows about the 3 slashes and the soda cans. Are you serious? The Pokemon cards, I just put that part up. I have no idea. All right, guys, you can see how this is important because everybody in the entire world knew what the details were of the scene. Now they can't use it to catch anybody. Now that person's going to get off scot-free, possibly because there's no way to find them, first of all. And if they do find them, everybody in the entire universe sees all the evidence. They already have already put them in their mind as guilty, and now they can't get a fair trial. And that's going to be argued in court, and that's going to ruin maybe everything, maybe not, but possibly. And this is one example of them keeping secrets for a reason that the average person doesn't really understand. But if you know how crime scenes work and know how investigations work, it makes complete sense. They would keep some of these things secret to try to put traps out there to catch people. And there might be a bunch of other people in this Tyler Robinson case that we don't know about, that they're trying to catch, that might have helped plan things. That they don't want all those chats getting out. They don't want all the texts getting out. They don't want all this information getting out. They put out as little as possible in the beginning. And I think that made it look a little bit confusing and made it look like they were lying. And I don't don't know if they're necessarily lying or is just keep things secret. So secrets that can be used later in court and secrets that can be used to catch other conspirators are intact so that they can catch people. A good example of this is at Dairy Queen, right? Maybe Tyler Robinson met with like 15 other people at Dairy Queen that conspired about this whole thing. And if that whole Dairy Queen story hadn't been released, maybe they could have used that to catch some of them. Hey, where were you on the night of this? But maybe they mentioned Dairy Queen and then oops, I didn't mean to mention Dairy Queen. And then they grab that person's phone and track them to Dairy Queen. And now you know you have 14, 15 conspirators meeting at Dairy Queen. But now every single person in the entire world knows the Dairy Queen story. If anybody mentions Dairy Queen, it's not special anymore. Anyways, guys, this is just another example of something I think is misunderstood as them lying and covering something up when the gag order and all this stuff is not necessarily them covering things up. It might just be meant to keep the integrity of the case and to help find other conspirators. Or it could be a huge cover-up, but it doesn't prove it's a cover-up.